Hello, welcome to episode 73 of Your Ultimate Comeback. I'm Brad, your host, here with my co-host Raquel. How are you?
Doing well, Brad.
Raquel Perry, that is. The yoga guru of Orange County.
Oh, I don't know about that. That's being generous, but thank you.
That's how, when I say that who my co-host is. Oh, I know her. She's the yoga guru.
Wow.
Yeah, the yoga goddess.
Oh, okay. I'll take that. Well, someone else that I was your wife today again.
Yeah, again.
I love that. Yeah. See, ladies, never be uptight about someone that is younger than you. Really, because that's a flex. It's a flex. You are 11 years
popping everywhere.
No, but you're 11 years younger than me, and the fact that someone might think that we were married is that's a flex. What can I say? At least they didn't say, "Where's your mom?"
Is it just you today, or you and your mom?
Yeah, where's your mom? Is she going to be on the podcast with you today? Oh, it's okay. Good. She's, yeah. Anyway.
Maybe they did, and I'm just trying to make you feel better.
Maybe. True. Keep that to yourself if that's the truth.
What's new in your world? Anything good?
New? Weekend off of travel, which is kind of nice to be home. As much as I love it, it's just, I don't know how you ever did as much travel as you did.
It was hard.
I was going to say. And your kids were younger, right?
Yeah, they were younger. Yeah, so that's pretty much like on the road for a week, home for a week, on the road for a week, home for a week.
That's brutal.
To travel is super hard.
Yeah.
And it's the hardest client for me is the one who travels a lot like I used to. I know a lot about it.
I was going to say, you probably understand it really well.
Yeah, it's a good fit because I have such a relationship to it. Mm-hmm. I remember the first year I did it, I fell apart. My body fat went way up. I was just a wreck.
Time out. Your body fat has never gone way up.
Oh, Lord Almighty. I'm glad you think that.
True. I don't. You do not vary, even when you're like, oh my God, I've lost 30 pounds. It's like, what? You always look good.
What do you mean I never vary?
You don't. You always look the same.
I've been training with Garrett, my NFL left tackle, for the last 8 weeks. I put on 10 pounds. I better have changed.
Brad, you always look, I'm sorry to say, this is actually a compliment. You always look good. You don't look like you, I've seen you looking stressed, yes, but I've never seen your body like a woo, like we women do.
I've had my episodes, like when I've gone through really high periods of stress, where I'll lose 20, 30 pounds.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It's pretty, and I'm not trying to do it. It's just how my body, what I've learned is some people, they adapt to stress that way, or they adapt to stress by putting body fat on.
That's just unique to the individual, huh?
It's very unique to the individual, their body type. I get super skinny really fast.
Wow.
It's weird to know, like, holy cow, I'm 30 pounds down.
Wow.
And I'm not trying to be.
Yeah.
Can get kind of scary.
But you've put on 10 pounds of muscle? Wow.
Well, I don't know if it's muscle, but
10 pounds of circus animals? Is that what you put on? No, I'm just kidding.
It's a good recovery protocol from training with Garrett. This guy he's like 6'6", 6'7", 330 pounds, NFL lineman, and he loves when I train with him.
That's so great.
It's awesome, and I like being 49 and being able to do it.
Yeah.
The hardest part of the workout is changing the weights between sets.
It's like, let me put my Tinker toys on.
He's much stronger than I am.
I bet.
But it's fun. Like, I love it. It's good for me, and I think he loves that I can do it all that I'm asking him to do. Sure. Obviously, he's fine. I'm 100 pounds lighter than him,
right?
Or I'm more than that.
Yeah.
But I think he just likes knowing that everything I'm asking him to do, I'm willing to jump in and do with him.
You believe it.
Yeah. In 2020, when COVID hit, we kind of got all the gyms got shut down.
Mm-hmm.
Their OTAs, all that stuff was canceled. So we were both kind of stuck at home. And so we went to my friend Sam Baker's house. He used to play for the Atlanta Falcons. He had this outdoor gym under his carport, and it was epic.
Wow.
And we trained there together for 6 months.
Wow.
It was awesome. I mean, it was like straight up old school. We talk about it all the time. It was like
cinder blocks,
old school Rocky style.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I remember at one point, like, it was raining and the gutter broke, and so water was just gushing into the gym.
Wow.
And we trained through that.
Yeah.
And he had it was like a massive turnaround in his career. Best year ever, was an all-pro left tackle. Signed his second, contract. It was good. And so ever since then, he's like, you got to train with me again.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Did
they know each other, those two, Sam and Garrett?
Yeah, I introduced them because I had trained
They didn't know before.
Yeah, I had trained Sam when he was when he played for the Falcons. Mm-hmm. And then once I started working with Garrett, I introduced them because Sam came in and kind of was a mentor for Garrett.
Oh, that's
they're both two of the best men in my world. Mm-hmm. So just great guys.
You've been very lucky with some of the men in your life, I think.
I've been super lucky. Mm-hmm. I have a lot of great role models, mentors, in all facets of life.
Yeah.
So great husbands, great fathers. one of our coaches, one of their family members' sons, 13, has really bad bone cancer.
Oh man.
He has a learning disorder, and Garrett had a learning disorder. He actually he has a foundation that raises money for kids with learning disabilities. I told Vanessa, our coach Vanessa, is one of her family members, that I wanted Garrett to go out and meet this little boy because Garrett loves that stuff. And so we got him a jersey, and we actually went and met the boy. Garrett spent like an hour with him, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
This guy, it was so beautiful. Like he called their head coach. Talk about, I'm the biggest fan of Coach Payton in Denver now. Because this man, Garrett texted him, hey, you busy? I'm hanging out with this kid, kind of give him a little story. Within 2 minutes, he was on the golf course, and he called.
Wow.
And started talking with the little boy.
This is like Make-A-Wish type stuff.
It was epic. And then Garrett starts just FaceTiming other guys in the league, and they all immediately answer. This is how much they love this guy. I mean, how often are you going to FaceTime a friend out of the blue, and they're going to answer?
Yeah.
Never.
Right.
I think they called 4 or 5 different guys, and they all answered, hey, what's up, man?
This is a relative of Vanessa's.
Yeah. I would think it was, I'm not quite sure. It was one of their family's little boys. He's 13.
Okay. And at that age, oh my gosh, how impactful for that kid, right?
Well, it was really neat because he gets this jersey, and Coach Payton's like, "Hey, you're coming to a game this year. You're going to be my VIP." And then he had to have he has bone cancer, so he had his femur replaced. And so Garrett, broke his leg a few years ago and had to have major surgery. So they start looking at scars with each other, and he had physical therapy when we were going to be done. And Garrett starts showing him his videos of his physical therapy after his surgery. And then Garrett looks at him and is like, hey, you're going to attack your physical therapy today, right? Yeah. Like, you got to stay strong, just motivate him. Like,
wow.
And the kid was just like, by the end of the time we were done, he was just so like alert and aware. And we get a text message later that day that he had the best physical therapy he'd ever had. Like, he worked really hard.
Love it.
And so the next time Garrett and I trained, we sent him a picture saying, hey, Garrett's like, hey, I heard you crushed your PT. I'm super proud of you. Just want you to know that I worked out hard today too. And he gave the little boy his personal cell phone number. He's like, you can call me whenever you want. I'm your guy. I'm going to put my name on your cleats every game. And,
okay, I'm going to start crying. That is so nice.
Oh, by the time it was over, the mom, another family member, sister-in-law, they were just in tears.
Yeah.
Like just, 'cause they hadn't seen him.
So excited. And
it was... these are the kind of guys that I get to be around.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I've met him. I don't know him very well. Yeah. And hopefully he's going to be on here sometime soon.
Oh, yeah. We'll get him on. Yeah.
But he is just such a good guy. Yeah. You can just feel that when you're around him. Just a super, super solid human.
Yeah. And I turned this other guy named Wayne Tesh. Awesome guy. He started this thing called Royal Family Kids Camp 40 years ago now. They have camps all over the world, and they're for kids that have been in foster care. They're kids that are in foster care. They bring them up to a camp. They just love on the kids, throw them a birthday party. I used to be the camp coach.
Oh, fun.
Before I had my daughter, her birthday happens to be on the week when camp that I'd go to happens. And these guys finally, I've been wanting them to meet for years. They finally meet. And Garrett was in the foster care system for a little while.
Right.
And so these two guys hit, and he's like 77 years old or something like that. They finally meet, and it was so funny. Wayne Tesh rolls in a Buffalo Bills hat, the team that beat the Broncos in the playoffs.
Oh, no.
And Garrett's like, really? And he's like, oh, my God. This is the only time he's ever worn the hat. And so at the end, we're taking a picture, and Garrett grabs the hat and turns it backwards right before the picture.
That's cute.
But he told Wayne the other day, like, hey, I want to come speak at one of your camps out in Colorado.
Oh, that's nice.
And Wayne's like, was he serious? I'm like, hell yeah, he's serious. Like, this is his thing. Like, he wants to connect with the kids that are struggling with things he struggled with.
Yes.
And he's so good at it.
Anytime someone uses a platform for positive, for good, to give back, I am so, I'm so impressed by that.
Yeah. And I'm really excited. The weight room with Dr. John Laura, we're going to run an event April 12th to raise money for his foundation.
Cool.
Yeah, it's called the GB3 Foundation.
Nice.
Yeah, if you go to the weightroom.us, if you're interested in doing it, Dr. John's going to provide some service. We're going to provide classes. It's like a $100 donation. It all goes to GB's foundation.
Very cool.
That's going to be April 12th. We have
what services is Dr. John doing?
I think they're going to do vitamin B shots.
Botox, probably.
No Botox. Vitamin B shots before the workouts to drive some energy.
Got it.
Yeah, nothing crazy. Just enough, like kind of a vitamin B shot to provide a little energy. And then people can come in and do the class after that and get after it and just have some fun. Yeah. And Garrett's going to be there. So if you want to meet Garrett, he'll be there. He's an awesome dude. So it'll be a really fun event.
Have you ever trained his wife?
I've never trained her personally, but I ride all her workouts.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, she's
okay.
awesome.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
She's a badass. She's super cool.
I bet.
Yeah, and they got 3 beautiful little kids,
Yeah.
and yeah. So they have a gym in Denver that they have. So she works out there, and I run,
good.
Yeah, so she's badass. She's super cool.
That's great.
Yeah, she's like a quarter the size of Garrett is.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And he loves her so much. It's beautiful.
I know. No, that's what I mean. You can just tell that he's a good dude.
Yeah. So perfect.
Love that.
Yeah.
I don't know what made me think of this. Maybe because you were talking about the leg situation. But have you heard of some sort of procedure where you can lengthen your legs? Okay.
I have not heard of this.
No, my friend Sarah yesterday was telling me, like, they break your femur and they put this thing in, and it's like a little over a year you're extending. I don't know. We got to look this up. I'm very curious about this.
Wow.
First of all, only one leg at a time can be done.
Oh.
That sounds horrendous.
I don't need
But,
to be any
there's
taller.
so much weird stuff going on in the world that,
Yeah.
okay, probably.
Just get shoes with bigger soles.
Is that what you do? You have
Yeah.
as he's wearing his Hokas, you guys.
Yeah, there's
the
a
lifts.
good like inch and a half there.
No, but I mean, doesn't that sound wild? Like you put
Yeah, that sounds horrible.
almost like I don't know. But I mean, would it
That's
surprise
not-
you?
It wouldn't surprise
Yeah,
me, but
yeah.
I wouldn't want to go through that.
No.
I mean, all the tendons and
No,
muscles and
yeah.
that's crazy.
Crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff.
Yeah, there's some, especially like training Dr. John, like I hear all the stories about
It kills me.
stuff that's out there and what people are doing
I
and
know. Yeah.
things we'll go through.
I know. And it's just, I mean, it becomes a slippery slope, I think, does it not?
I would think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we all want longevity, and we all want, well, one would hope, wellness, longevity, to feel good as long as we can, to be mobile as long as we can. One of my students from class today, great guy, Thomas Chen, shout out, yay Thomas. He showed me this video of his 96-year-old father, or maybe it was 93, but at that point, who cares, right? 93, 96. Like how active and mobile the guy is.
Awesome.
And he was showing me him climbing. Well, first of all, this gardening that he does. Gardening's not easy.
No.
Gardening is difficult.
Yeah.
And climbing up, doing all this stuff. And then something was wrong with his refrigerator. And the guy is climbing up like on top of the refrigerator. Thomas was showing me this video. I was dying. But I said, how amazing that you have that longevity in your, in your genes. And just, I love to see stuff like that where people are living their best lives, not letting a number affect them. It's very encouraging when I see
Sounds
that
like
kind of stuff.
he's done a really good job of fighting frailty.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I said, he's that old. You're kidding. Like so mobile. Like I don't think, a lot of 45-year-olds would climb on top of the refrigerator.
It's pretty crazy
Yeah.
to see how poor a lot of people in this world live.
No,
move.
absolutely. Yeah. You were talking about that last week about, how poorly people,
Yeah.
move. Yeah. So to me, anytime I see something like that, I am so encouraged that, because a part of me as I'm aging now starts to think, okay, when's the other shoe going to drop? Oh my God. When am I really just going to be like all seized up and broken, And I'm just hoping and praying that doesn't have to happen because I'm staying super mobile and doing the things and,
Well, my mom, I was talking to my mom a couple weeks ago, and one of her sisters is not doing well. Has all these health issues, and she's like, I gotta start visiting more. Get it all out of me before I start falling apart. I'm like, what makes you think you're gonna fall apart?
Yeah.
She goes, well, I don't. My sisters. I'm like, Mom, I'm super proud of her. Works out all the time. Like goes to the gym almost every day.
Love it.
Like focuses on her eating. I'm like, you're going to live a different life.
Yes. Yeah.
Because of that.
Yes. Agree.
Like, that factor right there creates a different outcome as you get older. So she's, how old am I? I'm
49.
Yeah, so she just turned 70. She just turned 70.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm like, you got a lot of years left in you because of the fact you get out of bed every morning, you go to the gym, you lift weights, you do your walks, you have your community. Like you're gonna be good.
Yeah.
Like I'm not worried about that other shoe dropping for you.
Right.
As long as you keep doing that.
Right.
She just retired. So like as long as you keep doing that, you're good.
Yeah.
Which I know she will because it's her this lady lives next to her. They kind of go every morning. I think one of my cousins goes with her.
Oh, good.
I'm like, you got your people, and as long as you guys just keep doing that, you got a lot of good years left in you. It's not coming to an end anytime soon.
That's great.
Yeah. So, I mean, at any point, anything can happen, but I mean, she's doing all the right things to maintain the ability to move well and, protect herself. Like, I'm not worried about her falling, any of that stuff because.
See, that's the scariest thing, right? And do you think it's the fragility of bones or inability to get up, or what is it that makes that so bad?
It's it's honestly, it's all of it. It's when loss of stability and balance.
Okay, right.
Right. Yes, fragility, like a loss of bone mass, things like that. Weakness is a big one.
Right.
Like I hear a lot of people like, oh, squatting is dangerous. I'm like, okay, get your fanny off the toilet. What movement is that? That's a squat, right? Like,
yeah.
So don't tell me that's a bad movement because it's the number one thing that puts someone in an old folks home. They can't get themselves off the toilet anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. I think my mom squats. Everyone I work with squats. I don't care how old you are. Wayne at 77 years old is squatting.
Even if you're doing a bodyweight squat.
Even if it's a bodyweight squat.
Absolutely.
A wall squat with a ball behind your back. A goblet squat.
Yes.
You got to be doing some form of squatting, in my opinion, to offset that risk.
That makes sense.
Yeah, well, it's bad for your knees. I'm like, oh my Lord. No, it's not.
Well, you're keeping the movement going.
Yeah. And in the world of sport, it's I can't believe how many people have abandoned the back squat because it's dangerous. It has the most athletic carryover to all sports. All my athletes squat.
Yeah.
At my age, I'm never going to stop squatting. I will not squat as heavy as I used to.
Right.
But I'm still going to squat.
Probably not going to go ass to ankles anymore.
No, There's some discrepancy there. Is below parallel better? What's not better? There's kind of some new stuff I've been looking into that I learned through a buddy of mine. Where with the bars on the back, with the back squat, just having the athletes go to 90 degrees. There's some science supporting that has more carryover to sport. Going deeper than that has more of a response of muscle growth, but the lower you go, the risk can elevate. Getting out of position can elevate. So I've been working with some guys and implementing this is I have my athletes now go to 90 degrees, and then we get the deep knee bend stuff and like the split squats, like the front pivot split squat you like so much, the lunges, things like that. So we work that bottom deep range unilaterally now to keep the the VMO, the knee strong, activating the hamstring of the backside of the knee with more depth, getting the glute involved, all that stuff. But now we're in a much safer environment.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying you got to go ass to grass every squat. You're not doing it right. I'm not that type.
Right.
But you got to get some deep knee movement in there for knee protection.
Yeah.
So, and that's kind of where I roll, how I like to do it. But everyone I work with, I don't care who you are. I have a guy that just came back after having some stents put in his heart.
Squatting.
First thing we did,
that's great.
Squatting.
That's great. Yeah.
And that's day one workout right out the gate. I'm getting that all back with him.
That's awesome.
That's how much and now we weren't back squatting, we were goblet squatting.
Okay, but still.
Squatting.
It's the movement.
Yeah. Yep. So I think that's a very key element that's in every one of my clients' programs.
I don't know if you made the comment about a lot of programs getting away from back squatting. That was something that was interesting about Quinn's team.
Yeah.
They weren't back squatting last year.
A lot of teams have abandoned the back squat.
But they are this year.
Oh, they're doing it this year? Oh, that's good. It's probably good. Did they have a new strength coach?
I don't think so. I don't know why. But
I don't know. Yeah, a lot of schools have abandoned them and now there's just front squatting.
Which seems weird.
Yeah, I like them both. In my system, you're doing both of them if you're an athlete. So we back squat every week and then we alternate every 3 weeks, front squat and a deadlift. So you'll front squat for 3 weeks, deadlift. Or we'll go like week 1 is a back squat and a front squat. Week 2 is a back squat and a deadlift, and we alternate that way.
Yeah.
But I prefer both of them because they're having different creating different responses in your strength development.
I haven't front squat in a really long time. Is that because I'm not an athlete?
No, it's a hard movement to do.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of people doing it.
Okay. Yeah. I feel it's so much more quad dominant.
It is. That's one of the benefits of it. Is very much more quad dominant.
Okay.
There are things we'll do to replace that for you. Most people don't have the flexibility to get in the right position to hold it.
Yeah. Is this not correct? You like this better with the
That's the most correct way to do it.
hands?
But you can cross over. It's just a lot harder to challenge it with enough load that way.
Oh, gotcha.
And like Garrett doesn't have the flexibility, but we use wrist wraps, and then he'll wrap up the wrap so he can keep the elbows high. You got to keep the elbows high.
Okay.
When you're like this, it's really hard to keep it high.
Oh, that makes sense.
I just hit my mic, but it starts pushing the bar up against the neck too much. And it's really easy for it to slip off the shoulder.
Sure.
It all depends on who I'm working with and the flexibility and ability they have.
Yeah.
Now, Garrett, as an lineman, he doesn't have the flexibility, but he has to do it.
Yeah.
I just need that as part of his overall strength balance. That's one of the prime movements in there. The back squat, the deadlift, the front squat. Those are big primary movements.
Do you do cleans with you?
No, I don't have any of my athletes do
you
power
don't?
cleans.
Okay.
Which is funny. Like a lot of people are like, how do you train athletes then?
Right.
And I'll tell you why. Remember Gary Matthews Jr.?
Yes.
So I used to train him back in the day. He was making a comeback. And back then I did power cleans, I did snatches, I did variations of all of them.
Yep.
And I had him doing a high snatch, really light weight load. And he pops it up one day. It's really light load.
Oh, no.
And he catches it wrong and like breaks a bone in his hand.
Yikes.
I look at everything as risk versus reward.
Absolutely.
That risk was not worth the reward it was going to give him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've never done any Olympic variation with any of my athletes ever since.
I could see that.
The benefit of it is it drives acceleration. But there are a number of ways you can drive acceleration. You can use bands. You can use chains, adding those to the barbell lifts. That'll create acceleration. You can do the pole variation. Yeah. The highest level Olympic athletes that specialize in like the clean and jerk, the snatch, they spend their whole life trying to perfect that technique. I'm not going to be able to teach an athlete in 2 sessions how to do it properly and then all of a sudden start loading them with it. So it scares the hell out of me when I watch athletes do those movements. The vast majority of them do it wrong. But they think because they're using heavier loads, they're getting more acceleration, they're getting better athletic development. Yeah. The catch does not matter. That's not what creates any athleticism. It's the acceleration of the bar coming up. So we'll do like pole variations, and that's about it. I will not have any athlete work the clean to a catch position or the snatch to catch position ever since then.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that was a hard lesson to learn.
Yeah,
but
well, there's nothing worse than people that are trying to go heavier with weight loads than they should, and the form is out the window.
Yeah.
And I see it all the time in classes. Yeah. I'm sure you remember that too.
Yeah.
Right?
100%.
It's just like, oh, let's just go.
Yeah, and you'll see that a lot. Everyone thinks heavier weight is better.
Yes.
I know, like with Garrett, for certain specific movements, I use a velocity tracker so I can see how fast the bar is moving.
Okay.
Within that tracker, they have, for whatever the outcome is, the speed to which that bar needs to be traveling.
Wow.
And what can happen, what I like it is you can see if the weight's too heavy, the bar's going to move too slow. We're not having the impact you want.
Okay.
So if someone's trying to do a super heavy power clean, but they're trying to use it for a velocity or an acceleration standpoint, and the bar's traveling super slow, you're not having the outcome you want.
Right.
You're just moving a lot of weight load very slowly, but it's not having the acceleration response that you want. That's one of the reasons, like, for example, deadlifting with athletes that are power athletes, the closer I get to season with those athletes, I've learned from Stefan at Kilo, those got to come out. It's too slow of a movement that it's not going to have a power carryover that we want. So really good away from the season when we're trying to build a base of posterior strength.
Sure.
As we get closer to season, those are gone. We'll do shorter range of motion variations at higher velocities to create more of that power or speed, whatever it is, the power or the speed scenario that we're trying to create. Right. So it's there's so much misunderstanding around what people are using to try to develop athletes. I get asked a lot of times, like, what do you have your son doing? I'm like, he's 10 years old. Oh, isn't he lifting? I'm like, I'll take him to the gym if he wants to go to the gym and we'll fart around with things. Right. But he's not deadlifting. He's not power cleaning.
Right,
he's,
right.
He's doing a lot of body weight stuff.
Yeah.
We're doing stuff to strengthen his neck and his core. He's doing a lot of, feet and ankle stuff. He's doing a lot of like low level jumps.
Yep.
He's 10. He has no hormonal profile to be able to create any type of muscle mass or strength. Actually, an interesting thing I learned, because I made a lot of calls, because I started seeing like all these 10-year-old kids are like lifting weights heavy and the weight belts on and like doing heavy trap bars.
Oh, man.
So I'm like, maybe I'm seeing this wrong. So I called an expert and he's like, no, you're not seeing it wrong. You're right. Yeah. He goes, the only thing that you can really have a positive impact at this age is flexibility. So his advice was really work his flexibility, because once he hits puberty, the potential of that is gone.
That's
you can't really improve. You can kind of only maintain it. I'm like, that's really interesting. I've never heard that.
And that's male and female.
I don't know. I was just talking specifically about my son, but that is your big window of time. So that can be highly impacted in things like agility. So I have my son. I'm not an agility guy, so I have him seeing this guy Dylan Bradley working all this different agility stuff. Yeah, change of direction, quick feet, speed ladders, all that stuff. The age group that I work with, that stuff doesn't have an impact on them. It's a very, 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 very small return for them. But at my son's age, it's a huge return. So if you want to know what I do with my son, we do a lot of body weight stuff. Yeah. We'll do a little bit of lifting stuff, not because I think it's improving him. It's good for his confidence and his mental, I'm getting strong. I'm lifting weights. Right. But it's all super light, very technically, sound. Neck, core, a lot of flexibility, and a lot of little jumpies. No plyometrics. He's not doing crazy plyometrics. He can't handle that yet. It's more just to
Get him
for him to
used
know
it.
he's doing stuff because he hears his buddies, oh,
Yes.
I deadlifted this much weight. I'm like, oh my Lord. He's like, Dad, how much can I deadlift? I'm like, oh, we don't do that one yet, buddy.
Yeah.
And, oh, okay. Why not? I'm like, you'll do it eventually when it's right for you, when it's time for you.
Yes.
But it just, he thinks he's getting stronger because he's in the
great.
gym.
Yeah.
But it's always for his confidence.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'll ask him like, oh, you want to go to the gym this week? No. Okay, we don't go. You want to go to the gym this week? Okay, yeah, we'll go.
Yeah.
What do you want to do this week? I want to go run routes. I want to do this.
Okay.
He's not that age yet where like the gym is that thing that he's super excited about. So I don't push it or force it.
And you want them to do it because they want to.
Yeah, and what's crazy is that I watch these kids that are lifting weights a lot. Like they're getting so overworked, and what you're seeing is their speed decrease. You're seeing their flexibility get worse,
Right.
and you're seeing it have an impact on them. There's one guy, one of the coaches in the Trojans, Coach Clark's. I don't know what his system is, but damn, he does some pretty good stuff.
Really?
Because like his son is training with him, and his son's moving better.
Same age.
Yeah, he's the same age as my son.
Okay.
That guy's, whatever he's doing, he's got some good stuff.
Okay.
So, you know, and it's pretty cool. So like, that's an example of a guy that, you know, I would trust with my kid, whatever he's doing, because I see his son getting more athletic, moving better. And his kids are tall. He's like, for a tall kid, he moves really well. But there's very few coaches that work with young kids.
Yeah.
That I'd be like, oh, I trust that guy with my kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Coach Clark's, if like my son really wanted to get into lifting, I'd probably send him over to Coach Clark's to have like to get that emphasis on it.
Right.
But they live too far away and he's not that in love with it to go do it. But if he was like, Dad, I gotta lift. I'm like, okay, we're gonna go see Coach Clark's.
Yeah.
Whatever he's doing, I like.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So, but it's very different than how I train your daughter, like what I do with him.
Well, you train my daughter very differently than you train me. I mean, I'm fascinated every time we work out together when she's in town, just how strong she is.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
My favorite part about her is her vertical jump.
Yeah.
Like how much that has improved since we started. And we've done no power cleans, no snatches, none of that stuff.
Right. But you have done stuff with chains. I have seen that.
Yes, we've done chains. We've done a lot of acceleration with her.
Yeah.
But yeah, in my opinion, again, there's a perfect example of, I think her vertical jump's gone up 8 inches since we started.
Something like that.
Maybe even a little bit more. And I have her very first time I ever tested her. I can't remember what it was, but I think she's at like 30 inches now, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think she was 22-ish when we first started.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's gone up 6 to 8 inches, I believe.
Wow.
Which is huge for a female athlete. Especially at, it's not like we started when she was super young. But yeah, perfect example of you don't need Olympic lifts to enhance vertical jump.
Right.
And enhance it well. 6 to 8 inches on a female athlete's like, I'm super proud of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Love it.
Yeah, that was a super wild tangent on that.
I know.
Yeah, not who we usually talk about.
No.
So if you have kids, some good advice for you on children.
No, we were all over the place as per usual.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, I guess probably a pretty good place to stop.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, thank you. All right.